This little video is going to show the very basics of decoupage. So if you've never done it before, this is just a quick rundown on how to do it. We're going to use a sheet that has multi-images on. These two are from the same sheet. And as you can see, they make quite pretty, easy cards. So this is what you're going to need to make up decoupage. A die-cut sheet, or undie-cut, whichever you prefer. PVA is quite useful. A pair of tweezers come in handy. Some scissors or a craft knife just for little bits of cutting here and there. And then you need either double-sided sticky foam pads or clear silicone adhesive. So we're going to start with this one. As you'll see, it's numbered. This is the third design, so it's called C. We have C1, C2, C3, C4, and so on. They're die cut, so they're simply pressed from the sheet like that. And you have to remove any little inside bits like that. I have a little desk dustbin that catches all the odd little bits and the backings from the pads. You will find that when you press it from the sheet, you get these little white bits of paper. You can cut these off, or if they don't offend you, you can leave them. It's entirely up to you. So there we have our layer 1, and now layer 2. So here we have our layer 1 and layer 2, and we're going to be using sticky fix pads for this one. These are 3mm square and 2mm deep. They come in all sorts of thicknesses and sizes, but this is the one that suits me. So I pick them up with tweezers, place them onto the back of layer 2, and if you hold them with the tweezers, you can then hook a thumbnail under the backing and peel it off. So quite a quick and simple method. A bit like that, and then we simply have to layer it over the first layer, trying to match it nicely. And then we move on to layer 3. Layer 3 has these two parts. You'll notice this has a bit of another flower over the top. We don't have to worry about that. That'll be on the next layer, and it'll be covered over by the whole flower. Now this is where my glue comes in. The ends of the stems are going to need gluing, so I pop a little puddle of PVA onto a piece of spare backing or onto the sheet, as I've got space on it. I use this sheet because once the glue's dry, you can actually peel it off and throw any dry glue off and throw it away. You can use normal paper. This is just what I've got used to. So we want to glue the bottom of the stem. We've put the pads on the back of the flower. We will dip the stem in the glue, and then we'll pop the flowers into place. You do get a moment or two to change your mind with the pads, but it is only a moment or two. And then the leaf, we can give it some shape first. Pop a pad into the dip we created by curving it. and glue the top, so into the glue at the top there. Oops. And then we have C4. You'll note that the flowers are set out on the sheet pretty similar to how they're going to appear on the real thing, so we know which flower belongs where, and it saves hunting around wondering if you've got the right one. So we'll go a pad on the back, a little glue on the stem, and you'll see that little bit of stem that had the flower on it is now covered by a complete flower, so it doesn't even notice. Same again for the next one. And then our last piece is this last flower. We'll dip in the glue again. Gluing the bottoms of the stems means that the flowers are nice and full and the stems aren't too prominent. And that's your finished design, ready to mount as you please. So the next one we'll do is this daisy one, and you'll see it's B1 and B2. If you've got little pieces like this that don't want to come, press it from the top, not the bottom, then you won't get messy bits on the front, and using an embossing tool helps. So then layer 2. And those extra bits. Again, I would give a little rub curve, and for this one we're going to use a silicone. These injection type applicators are available in chemists for medical use, but they're really handy for this. So it's a little application of glue around, a bit like we were placing the pads, but we're doing it with the glue instead. It doesn't need masses. The advantage with this glue is that you can vary the amount you put on, so you can put big blobs in the centre and thin blobs at the outside. A disadvantage with it is it stays quite flexible until the end. It's handy sometimes because if you put it wrong you can always take it up and move it about, but it does move as you put the next layers on. So it's a bit swings and roundabouts really. So then we'll move on to layer 3. So we have flowers and a bow. the bow loops I would shape, and we're going to put a blob of glue into what we've just made into dips. So a blob of glue into there and there, and for the knot we want to just hold it down. We'll pop a little bit of glue, so it's a very smear of glue, which means it will work like ordinary glue and hold it down without raising it. Turn it up the right way. And pop it into place. Now as you press the next layer down, you may squash the layers, but with this you can lift it back up again, and what that does is stretch the glue and makes a taller stack of glue really, and then it will dry raised. And then the same for this area. Put them on top. It's just moving about a little, but we can put it back. And as before, these are in roughly the same position as they would be on the other sheet, so we can see what belongs where. Again shaping the bow, and we'll do a blob in each loop. This little tiny bit here we want to touch to the back loop, so we'll put a smear of glue on those 2 points and a smear on the knot as well. So then the knot touches, these 2 little front loops are a bit raised, and it glues down to there. And then we'll put it back in place. So now you need to find somewhere for it to go where it's not going to be squished till it dries. And there you have pads and silicone.